upwards of $250,000 a year, but I was being sexually harassed. It was before the Me Too movement. I'm kind of like a good-looking chick with a bad body, so it was inevitable. But I didn't even know. No, for real, I didn't even know that I was that pretty. Like in layman's terms, I had no idea. I'm from a small town. I had no idea I was a tomboy. So when all this started to happen, I would talk to my little brother about it, be like, damn, and he'd be like, you're crazy, like, just keep the money. And I'd be like, but it's hard, like, these people are at me every day, these men. And he'd be like, you know what, something else will come about. So his best friend is Jordan Reed. He plays for the Redskins now, who lived in my house. My parents adopted him. So once it was Jordan's last season, and they had come and stayed in my home in New Jersey, come to my office, come and dealt with people, big levels of people or whatever. So they understood the type of business I was handling. So when Jordan decided to go to the league, he, my brother and him called me and said, look, it's our last game. They were playing the Seminoles. Dope stadium. Dope stadium.
Really?
So they were like, please come out. Come to the stadium. We have VIP passes for you and everything. We want to talk to you. So I went to the game, and I think my brothers understood it even more because a lot of the coaches and the players were trying to holler at me on the sideline. So they were like, and my brother Jordan got into a fight with people, and he understood, like, damn, I need to get my sister out of that situation. And then also too, he needed protection in what he was getting into. So my brother was like a top player. College football is a sham. They should be getting paid.
Yeah.
Basically the coach was bad talking my brother, saying he didn't had no he didn't have any knowledge of football knowledge. He couldn't read the books and stuff, but he was a quarterback turned tight end. So, of course, he knew the books. He knew what he was doing.
Right.
And he came out as a junior.
When you're saying the
Jordan.
coach, you're talking about, can I say
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer, right?
Yeah, or he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'll
all
say it. I don't care. Come for me, Urban.
He's
I
got a
one
horrible
for you.
reputation.
No, he
I
does.
got one for you, Urban. You can't come over here with that shit. Like, Urban Meyers, but then the next coach, I forget his name because he was not important. Urban Meyer stood in my living room and pitched my parents about Jordan, and Jordan was into it or whatever because Urban is, he's a master
household name.
manipulator.
Yeah.
No, he's a master manipulator. So whatever, my brother went there. He was there to follow, the Jesus boy.
Tebow.
Tebow
Yeah,
as the quarterback. That's who my brother, he was a All-American quarterback. He went there to, take his place. And that was a very sticky situation. When he got there was 3 quarterbacks. So they would rotate him.
Right.
Cam
So,
Newton.
yeah, it was disgusting. Which Cam, shout out to Cam, you know what I mean? Like, it was disgusting. So, to make a long story short, my brother's smart enough to know, you know what, I want to learn a different position because this doesn't look good. He happened to learn the position from a young man who happens to be passed away now, who was a menace.
Hernandez.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
okay. Yeah, like,
Can
let's
I ask
get
this
into
question
it.
real quick? Because
Yeah,
I've
go
heard
ahead.
this, that
Yeah.
Jordan was one of the people. He was also petrified of Aaron Hernandez.
No, Jordan.
That's not true.
No,
All right.
that's not true. Jordan's from New Britain. He's not petrified of anyone. What I will say is that Jordan understood very early on that something was. That the kid was
Something was broken.
Yeah.
Someone's
the
messed up in
kid
his
did
head.
stuff in college. You could do the research. It's public record. Like,
Right.
the kid got busy in college. Like, it wasn't just like he killed people after college.
Right.
Like, he was a sociopath. You
Right.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but he was very good to Jordan and taught him a position which he made. Has a contract now of $60 million. So you'll see my brother do, the homage to him. You know what I mean? Because he was good to him. You get what I'm saying? But was he a good person? I think he was a broken person. He had a lot of issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, that situation took place. But, my brother came to me and said, listen, I know you're big business. I stay in your home. When my brother Jordan was at Florida Gator, he used to bring Dominique Easley, Sharif Floyd they all used to come and stay in my home in New Jersey with my housekeeper, and my housekeeper would cook for everyone, and they would drive my Range Rover, my Porsche, or whatever, and have a great time while I was on vacation. So I already had this following of players from college that I don't watch football. I grew up in football. I want nothing to do with it, right? At that point. So they all are like coming there and having the best time. I don't know what they're doing in my house, but I really didn't care, you know, because that's where I was in my life. Like, I got money. I don't care what they do, you know? And it just turned into Jordan asking me to manage him, and then Dominique asking me to manage him, and then Sharif asking me, and then Ronnie Powell, and then
The
you know what
doors
I mean?
opened up for
Yeah,
him.
Oh,
it
wow.
was like a floodgate of players that trusted me.
Yeah, because once they get somebody that's somebody
and
And
to
also,
back
too,
them.
Everybody
none of them
talks.
had fathers. So
Yeah.
they all trusted women.
Right.
So
right,
it was
right.
like, you
Yeah,
know,
that
this
makes
is a
sense.
woman that is powerful, that, you know, she has money already. It's not like she needs anything from us.
Right.
So let's put her the spearhead of what we're doing, and I know we're going to be okay. And in that interim, you know, the back flack I get from New London is that I don't care about New London. I've been gone for so long, and I don't employ people. I don't help people. Well, Dwayne Stallings is a big deal in New London. Nobody knows that because he's a ghost, right? And he's a multimillionaire. Sorry, Dwayne, I
Dwayne
had to
does
put
great,
you out
man.
there.
Wow.
Ah,
Right?
he does
But
great.
Dwayne handled most of my clients. Like, I came back and I helped, not help, but I put people in place that I trusted, which were like people from New London. You know what I mean? And even when I was just a buyer in New York City, I employed people from New London that were interested in fashion. I ran a program that brought in kids from New London High to see my college, to see what I did, to see how you could make money, how you could do certain things. I ran that program with my father. You know, I'm a person that's about like bettering yourself. I don't do things and like talk about it. I don't, you know, I've supported families in New London that the parent was dying. I've given them the money for their whole year of bills. You know, that's the type of stuff I do, but I've never talked about it because it's private, and plus I'm doing it from my heart. I don't do things just to do them so people could say, "Oh, she's a good person."
Well, it's
like,
the
I
old-
don't really give a
It's the
shit.
old saying: if you give yourself a compliment, it's not a compliment.
Yeah, like, I'd
That's a good
rather
point.
people do their research and say, "Nah, she's really the truth. Like, she really helped out." But now that I'm in politics, I notice that people are attacking me like, "Oh, she's been gone. She doesn't do anything."
Why don't you,
That's
why don't you
just
speak
politics.
about that?
I don't
Speak
know
about that a little
about
bit
that.
now. 'Cause talking about New London,
Yeah.
So you went
And-
from business manager to now politics.
and now are you trying to
Yeah.
get into city council of New London?
Yeah. So I'm trying. Well, I'm either they elect me or they don't. Like, if they elect me, they'll be blessed with what I can bring to the table with big corporate business and the different allies that I have. If they don't, then they're dealing with the same situation that they're in now. You know, there's a lot of road work in New London. I don't know if that's helping people. It's helping somebody. I don't know who's helping, but it's not helping the people.
Right.
You
So
know
where
what I mean?
where do you feel like the opposition is coming from with you? Is it strictly just politics? Like who are the voices that are saying that you haven't brought anything back to New London?
I think that, it's a. I
Is
think
it just a narrative, or is it just? Or is
I
it,
think it's a narrative or whatever, but if you check my pedigree, my family's always given back to the town, and the only reason why I moved back is to to bring money back into the town and to do what I do best, which is raise money. You know,
Hey,
I
your
have
fam-
money,
your
like,
f-
so I
yeah.
don't really need to do this.
Right,
Like, I could
right.
live anywhere. I have a home in Miami. I don't need to do this. I did it because I want my daughter to experience, you know, what I experienced as a kid, like community.
There you go.
When we live in New York City, we don't really have a community. When we live in Miami, you know, anything could go on. There's no community there. I came back to a community, so like the fact that people talk is like weird to me. You know what I mean? Because you know
That's
what
jealousy,
I
though,
represent.
Alex. You
Yeah.
know how that goes.
Well, that might be
That's a
something
lot
that
of that.
you're getting like reintroduced to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always been some small town shit.
Yeah, I
it-
get it.
maybe-
but
maybe
I
to
get it, but I
degrees.
don't get. I don't understand how people could be in the situation they really want to be in, but they attack other people. I don't come from that. Like,
Right.
I don't really understand that, because I'm always bigging up people. I could be in New London having the best time of my life, but then I could be in Miami and everyone shows up to my party. RG3, what's the head driver of Mercedes? He just got me approved for a new car because they messed up my lease or something. What's his name? He
don't
does
know.
the Grand Prix.
I had a Ford
Who?
Ranger.
What?
He's the biggest race car driver right now.
I don't know.
Like Formula One or
Yeah,
NASCAR?
Formula One.
Oh,
The
fuck.
kid from London, the black kid. I don't know.
We gotta.
I'll have
brush
to look
up
that
on
You
up.
gotta brush
gotta
up.
call
I
on
don't
it.
know.
So-
So,
but
like,
I see what you're
like,
saying.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, I
yeah.
hang out with like the elite of the world. I don't think of them as elite because I don't care who they are.
Well, that's
you know
where
what I'm saying?
that's where the blowback's from. Because small town, and then that people are jealous, man. They don't want to see other people succeed. It's it's true in small
In
towns.
small towns.
In small towns, it's like that, man.
Small
It
towns,
sucks.
small town, and especially small town
Sad.
New
It
England.
is. It sucks.
They're afraid of change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And there you go.
They're
There's another thing.
terrified of change. They're stuck in their
Right.
ways. You have the powers that be, the people that
You
are
rocked a lot of
empowered.
boats. You know what I mean? People
I
don't like
think
that
so.
stuff.
I think so.
So what got you out of the NFL?
Well, you know, we had a discussion right the other night, and I was like, oh, I got out of it and I'm done. But then I just got a phone call 2 days ago from a player that his wife and I are very close friends, that an agent really got over on him, you know. That's another thing. Like, when people call on me, I just do it. Even
Right.
though I don't want to be a part of it. I really don't want to
So
be a part of
You
it.
just want to help.
You weren't an agent technically. You were more of a
No, I don't. I didn't do agency because I didn't really want to take the test.
negotiation.
Yeah, like
Lewis
I'm lazy
Hamilton?
Like that. Yes.
Okay.
That's my boy.
The,
So
the people wanted to know who it was.
yeah, Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, like that's my boy. Like I was supposed to go to Monaco to go watch him race or whatever with him and the kid from the Giants with the crazy hair that dances. What's his name?
Crazy hair.
Odell
Beckham?
Odell
Odell.
Beckham?
Yeah.
Well,
Odell
now he's on the
Beckham.
Browns.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on the
Okay.
Browns. Odell Beckham. He comes to all my birthday parties and stuff like that. Like they all invited me to go with this kid, and you know I'm friends with like everyone. Even though I'm from New London, like I don't take anybody too serious. They come to my party. They pay homage or whatever. They're friends with Jordan. They're friends with my brother Tyler Major. Like people show love, but it's just weird. It's weird, like to come back here and like people
Are you living?
not.
Are you living here now?
Yeah, I live on Pequot Avenue.
So you are. You have a
Yeah.
permanent residence
Yeah,
here
my
as well.
daughter goes to school at Winthrop.
Oh, good.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So
You were name dropping before.
No,
I just want
I-
not
I'm
name
really
dropping,
not.
but
I
I'm
don't
saying
really
like
care about
I just want to know. You said Jordan Reed. You said
Dominique
Easley.
Easley.
Can you go through a
Sharif
list of
Floyd.
people that you've worked with?
Yeah, Jordan Reed, Dominique Easley, Sharif Floyd, Ronnie Powell. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of kids. Those are my top players, but there's another kid, I forget his name. He wore the gold shoes for the combine.
Well, before he cut me off and stuff
Mm-hmm.
rudely.
I didn't think I
I
did.
know, I'm kidding. I'm just curious, just because if I had a job in the NFL, because I'm sports nuts,
Right.
and if I was able to like manage or like deal with people like that, I would want to stay in it. So that's why I was like asking why you got out of it. But you said you're still like in it, but it's not something that you saw yourself keep doing.
You know what? I'm in it when people pull me in. Like I have a player that plays for a top team right now. He's a top player, and he got hurt. His first time getting hurt his whole career, the last game of the season. And his agent talked him into taking a lesser deal than he already signed.
Bad advice.
Your agent got paid
Right.
to talk you into, like, those type of things make me crazy.
Sure.
So when your wife calls me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like I'm on it. Like I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. Let's get it done. If they were willing to take back your contract, they should be willing, since you're playing so well now, to give it back.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
So
But that's not how owners work. That's not how they work, right? But and GMs. But, that's what I work on. I work on the betterment of the athlete because they're shafted. Like, they're in a community of people, and they're in a stage that they're not ready for. So they make, these people can bend them and make them make bad decisions. I can't even imagine what that player was told to take a lesser deal after they already inked a deal
Right.
of more than 7 figures. Like, how do you go back on that for like less than half because your agent says that's the right thing to do?
Yeah.
That's not the right thing to do. Why didn't you
Smells
call
like
me
shit.
then?
Yeah.
Right.
Because you got
But-
a lot of people involved, and it's like, do me a favor, then I'll do you a favor on your next
Right.
client or something like that.
Right.
They're not looking out for the
Right,
guys.
but also too, I don't recommend any players to go with agents that have a lot of players because that means they have a lot of people on one team,
Sure.
and they want to make sure overall they get good deals, and they're probably getting kickbacks. So don't go with that guy. Go with a guy that is the underdog that needs to prove a point and that's gonna fight for you.
Fucking
So
Jerry
Drew-
Maguire.
go
Drew-
go with Jerry
That's-
Maguire, man.
Go with Jerry.
Drew
Yeah.
Rosenhaus.
Go with
you're
Jerry.
against Drew Rosenhaus. Then.
Don't bring Drew up because you know what,
Why is that?
Drew. Because
She just said it.
yeah,
Just
Drew is-
explain it.
me and Drew have had many meetings, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm cool with Drew's nephews that left his practice because they're supposedly against him because of what he does. When your own family turns on you in the art of business, you know what kind of family you're dealing
Yeah,
with.
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? And I've dealt with, I was trained by the Syrian Jewish community. So they're cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? So, the Ashkenaz Jews of Rosenhaus, they don't really see what I'm trained to do. So when I see them coming and doing what they're doing, I just look at it like, wow, you're really out of pocket. You're out of pocket, bro. But these kids, they come from nowhere. They
Right.
come from single
Yeah.
parent homes. They come from eating,
They sink their teeth
I had a
into 'em.
kid that told me his favorite sandwich was a potato chip sandwich. That's the only sandwich he's ever had. Mayonnaise and potato chips and 2 slices of bread.
Have you ever seen the Herm Edwards? I used to love it when it was on SportsCenter. Was when the rookies were getting drafted and stuff. He would have a whole class of what to expect now, and he would talk about how.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
Well, I
'cause
just
that was-
just didn't know if that was actual, if it was just more
Oh, yeah.
for show.
No,
he
it
would
is
say-
for show
Say
because
don't have 2 girlfriends, have 1. Don't have 2 cars, get 1. He would
Guess
say,
what? Yeah, that's admirable. He did it, but at the end of the day, that's not taught to every person in the NFL. That was to make TV and to get him some paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These kids aren't taught anything. They're not taught about financials. They're taught to get a financial advisor who most of the time robs
you
them
off.
for it's sick. It's sick.
Yeah, when you see the numbers of the percentage of athletes, especially in the NBA,
Broke.
athletes that go broke, it's over 70% in the NBA.
There's a lot of
God,
Don
sick,
Kings out there.
Which
bro.
is
you know?
fucking
Sick.
say that shit again. Over 70% of these kids.
Well, because you have that small window for the sports athletes to make that money. If they make bad decisions, you can go broke pretty quick. man.
Bart Scott
You know,
doesn't
they,
matter. You
They
just
go
have-
broke pretty
quick. Yeah.
you just need bad habits. It doesn't
and
matter.
that bothers
what kind of money
Alexis.
you
That's
got.
why she tries to
It
help these
bothers
guys.
me. No,
Yeah.
it seriously bothers
know?
me. I've seen, first, people in their first contracts go all the way broke where I ended up paying their bills. They're multimillionaires, but I'm paying their bills because they made bad decisions. They don't know how to make good decisions.
Right.
So by, most all NFL athletes, they get their first check in September. They stop getting paid as of the last game. So that whole summer
They
season,
got-
they don't have any money. But if you have bad practices with money, you're broke by July.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'd have to front money. What are you
because you
talking
knew
about?
the money
For the
was going to
seasons.
be coming.
No,
But
I knew it was coming, but still,
Why
how
are you in that
make-
position?
Yeah.
You make
Yeah,
way
because of
more
that.
money than me. I make 1% of what you're making.
Right. You shouldn't
How
be
do I
struggling.
have more money than you?
There's
How do
there's
my house is bigger
You
than
probably
how
could've
There's
got
not
okay.
many
does this
players
work?
like Rob Gronkowski then, because he said that he took all his money and banked it, and only money he spent was endorsements, and that's why he's where he's
Okay,
at.
so Gronk.
Yes.
That's my boy too. He's cool. He's a Rosenhaus person.
can we hang out? Like, any
Right?
chance,
Huh?
me and you hang out one day?
With Gronk.
Anytime, bro. So with Gronk, right? Gronk is I used to have a house in Miami on the water, and my house was the Patriot house. Everyone would come there and do what they do before they went to live or the clubs. Gronk is he's a cool person, he's a super cool person. But the thing about it is, and I'll call it out on your show, if you're a white player that plays well, you're going to make way more money than everybody else. He could live off of his off the field
Endorsement.
money.
Because of his
Because
endorsements.
he's fucking white. Let's call it what it is. My brother Jordan is just as good, like when it comes to his skill set, right? But he doesn't play for the Patriots, right? And also too, he's not white. And if he was white, he'd be a quarterback. Let's call it that. Let's just keep a spade a spade. That's what it is. You know
Love
what I'm
it.
saying?
Lex is firing away.
I don't care.
Love it.
I got bullets for everybody.
I
But
love
I'm just
it.
saying. So at the end of the day, if you're a good white player in the NFL, you're gonna make money. So you can live off of that.
With personality too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Add
he's
that
the
on top
best.
of it.
Hold on, but let's be clear. Gronk even brought his brother on commercials. Like he was a big deal. He
Right.
comes from a big market. He's a big deal. He's a white boy with swag.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like he made it make sense for himself. He makes more money off the field probably than Brady.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carter Chow, but his agent, but like he does, like because he has swag and he's cool. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like if Harry or you played football, you'd make more money off the field because you're cool. You're accepted by everybody. You know what I'm saying? But like, Gronk is that guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy, and he says what he wants to say. He's funny. Like, he used to make comments like, he'd be like, I'm going to date your sister. Like, he always would, like, try to date me and stuff like that because he just thought it was hilarious.
Sure,
So I couldn't figure out if he was dating me because he liked me or, like, wanting to date me because he liked me or just because he wanted to piss people off or just to get a rise.
Yeah.
Because he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Patriots used to come to my house. I used to have, like, a big area before the water. And they would all come there and hang out before they would go out. And a lot of times I'd be asleep. I just had a newborn baby. My daughter's 4 now. And they would come and knock on the door. And they'd be like, hello, can we, we're just trying to hang out pregame before the club. So, okay, cool. Just go out to the back. And when I tell you, like, Aaron, what's the kid's name? Aaron Robson. He played for a bunch of the players
Right.
that played for Patriots. I used to, like, throw soap at their head, like break up soap from my upstairs bathroom and throw it. Like I'm from a small town. Like we have different ways, and I'd throw it. And one time I remember they all thought it was a bat. Oh, it's a bat! And they start running in my house and holding their heads, and like they were all. And I just like got a kick out of it because it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Like you know
It
what
really
I'm
is
saying?
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the
like,
day, that's what they are.
If
right?
Brady came, I was like, oh shit, Brady. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
But like at the end of the day, they're just a bunch of kids like that want to have fun and like not be noticed. And
Yeah.
I used to go to the gym with like half the kids in the NFL, and we'd go and we'd run ball because I like basketball, and sometimes I wouldn't play right because they're all huge. And I'd get hurt, so I'd be like
call
on
it what it
the
is.
side, and they would let me play, right? They'd be like, "Oh yeah, let her play till she like taps out." So then I'd be sitting on the edges, and people would be like, "Yo, that's this person and that's that person," and they would ask the players, and they'd say, "Nah, man, that's not me," and the people would be like, "Yeah, that's Jordan Reed, right? He's on my fantasy," and I'd be like, "I don't know," and Jordan would be like, "Why don't you say no? Like, why do you say I don't know? Like, like." These kids, they're kids. Like, they just want to be themselves. They just, they just want to have fun or whatever. But they're under this microscope of being perfect, and they're nobody's role model. They come from really
Right.
messed up backgrounds.
Yeah. I like that.
So what's one of the best stories that you can give us about a player that you would say?
She already gave us some good
Yeah.
ones.
Well,
here.
I know. I'm saying like the best that she has.
Like without naming names.
Yeah.
Something like Joe wants dirt. He wants juice. Without
Yeah.
out
without
anybody.
naming names or if
names.
you can name a name.
For the betterment of players, I've done a lot. I had a player that got drafted first round from a top team in the NFL, and 2 days before the draft, he was attacked by his own pit bull.
Oh wow.
By his own dog?
Yeah, and the pit bull was a problem. Like, the pit bull was a problem. Like, and in order to, like, really make sure that my player's mind was on the game, I had to do things for this pit bull. Like I had to hide it in a Super 8 hotel because I wasn't gonna get the dog like a Marriott.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like I would have to hide the dog because the dog would do reckless stuff.
Right.
And I'd be like, you have to euthanize this dog. This dog's gonna get you in trouble. Like seriously,
Wow.
like this dog, like because all the NFL players then, I don't deal with a lot now, but they would all get their dogs. They would all get pit bulls because that was like their ghetto dream, right?
I have a
And then
pit
they would send them to trainers. And I don't know what happens to these dogs when they go to trainers, but they just start attacking people and things. And the dog would start attacking stuff, like just random. And I told him, like, you got to get rid of this dog. No, it's my dog. Like, you know, you don't want your player to, like, be fixated on a
Must be
dog
the
instead
same
of the
trainer
field.
that Mike Vick sent his
So
dogs
does-
to.
Everybody, bro. Like, I'm telling you, it's a huge problem, right? So I had to hide the dog, like, because the people, the wardens were after the dog. Wardens were after the dog, so I had to hide the dog and everything. So I'm hiding this dog, and finally the player is, like, done with training and all these things, so the dog goes back to the house. So the dog goes back to the house. I threw a birthday party for the player at Live nightclub in Miami. So I looked at some of the other top players of the draft and I said, listen, man, I have a bad feeling in my stomach. Just watch him. Drive him home. Don't let him drive. Cool. So they drive him home or whatever. Maybe 2 hours later, I get the phone call. You got to come here quick. Oh, it's crazy. The ambulance is on the way. I get there. The dog bit 2 top NFL players,
You're kidding.
Oh
Right?
wow!
but the owner tried to get the dog from the kids and ends up getting maimed all over his body.
You're
Like,
kidding.
yo, the sickest thing. So the player, like, we did a lot of press. The player's going first round, and now the player's maimed, like not going to be able to play, like at all.
Oh, that bad? He,
Oh, wow.
What?
Holy Christ.
Bad, right? So I go to the hospital. The player in the area we were in, you know, was a big deal too. So I had to go in and, you know,
Right.
make
Make
sure
sure,
that
yep.
nobody's going to say the player's here. Make sure, because I'm trying to make sure the player gets the draft position in which we worked so hard to get.
Right.
So I hid the player. We're supposed to go to the big thing in Madison Square Garden for the announcing of the draft. We don't show. We're across the street at a hotel across the street. So when we got first round, we're jumping up and down. He can't jump. I'm jumping up and down. I'm on the bed, like jumping up. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
And when we got to the team in mention, like, they were like, this is not the player I drafted. And I'm just looking like, yeah, because I'm good at what I do. You know what I mean? But, like, it was sick, and the player didn't get to play, and it was a whole thing. But we got our money, though.
Hey,
Hey.
listen, man. It's a tough business. You guys did a
Yeah.
good job hiding that then. Good for
No,
you.
we did
Never
amazing.
played?
That's a crazy story. His own dog fucked him up
Fuck
right before the
up.
draft.
Fucked him.
And you had
To
to
the
hide
point
all-
where he could never play again?
No, he played, but,
Eventually-
like, a couple snaps here and there. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? But
Jesus Christ.
bad.
So the dog
He
ruined
didn't
his
play
career.
that
Dog should have been
season that he got
euthanized.
drafted. then.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't play at all.
No.
He should have listened to you when you said put the dog down.
No. Bro.
That's crazy.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the other thing. If you're an athlete and you have you know it. You've had a dog. You had a dog and stuff. You got to be around that dog. If you're an athlete and you're working that hard, it's
Man.
very tough
No,
to be
but
around
these
the
kids,
dog.
they have
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
that want to come along with them, and they pay the kids, and they
It
take
don't
care
work.
of the kids.
Well, don't
and
get
nobody,
a pit bull then.
Yeah,
Get
you
something
know,
easier to
yeah,
deal
Get a
man,
lab.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Get a labradoodle. You know,
Yeah.
labradoodle. They,
Yeah,
they
I
clean
think
themselves.
they have labradoodles now.
There you go. Figured it out.
Sick.
I'm sure that story got around. You know, other players
Sick.
probably heard that. Like,
Sick.
that's crazy.
So Alexis,
Stuff.
to shift gears and go
Yeah.
back to New London,
Yeah.
and for all of us here who have lived in this area,
Yeah.
right, all our lives, and we've seen so many promises, so many
Yeah.
different fucking ideas that just have gone to fucking Death Valley,
Yeah.
and they come up and all the. What do you see? Like, what needs to get done for a community like? Because we all want to see New London thrive, and what's the biggest issues, the biggest obstacles that you think you might face if you do get voted in, and what really needs, like, what is your vision? Like, what do you think that you can bring to the table? What needs to get cleaned out?
Well, I think that I'm a master of making things that are actually really good. I'm a master of making people know that they're really good. Like, New London is not dangerous. It's not a dangerous place. I own properties in Newark, New Jersey. It's dangerous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got carjacked there twice.
Right.
You know, like, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But, like, New London is not dangerous. The fact that people in neighboring towns won't go there and enjoy the downtown area is, like, bothers me.
Sure.
Because it's super safe there.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
fine.
non-safe. There's like 5 cop cars there. They make their presence known. And not only that, but the people, you know, they're not such a big deal. You know, that's number one that I want to do. I want to make people know that it's a safe situation and there's good places in New London.
But you could say that. We could say that. But how does perception change?
Well, that's why I think that we need PR in the area to let people know, to change the narrative of New London. Also, too, I think that, you know, what I bring to the table is doing more things. They invested all this money with this pier downtown,
Right.
but they only use it for Sail Fest.
No
That's a
shit.
good point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
We're
saying?
doing
Like,
a lot
why
more.
is that? We could be doing a lot with that area.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of stoners and burnouts. We should have some reggae fest.
Yeah.
You know,
there
like
go.
we should have some
Yeah.
situations down there. I also think that we need a community center. I know my father's raising money with a lot of people that he's helped out through his life and stuff like that, but it shouldn't be his responsibility to help the youth in New London. It should be the responsibility of the town, and if he takes, you know, time to give back to the community, which he will, then that's what it should be. I always tell him, Dad, like, why are you trying to raise money for something that should be given? You know, but, you know, that's just my dad.
Yeah.
That's just how he moves. But I think that that's important. I also think it's important to help out the homeless. You know, like, New London is known as like a homeless haven. People think I'm crazy, but I'm like, hey, maybe we should go down and talk to the homeless and see what their talents are. Maybe they could be the cool people on the piers, like in San Francisco, that sing and like do drums and do like all that extra stuff. I don't know, but I'm all about helping people, you know, reach their goals and like get out of their situations in which they're in. So whatever I can do to help anyone, I'm here to help. Period. And also, too, because I was a financial buyer, I ran a business of $150 million in buying, which is all budgets. I'm budget savvy, like, to the nines. So when it comes to financial planning and things of this nature, I've financially planned for some of the richest people in the world, but also I ran a $150 million business. I don't even know anyone that's on that council that has done the type of business that I've done and reinvested money and made money out of nothing or pennies like I have. So I'm a fiscal responsible girl, you know, so I think that the town needs that too, because they need clarity in where the money's going.
Clearly.
They need transparency. You know, there's a lot of roads being fixed.
Lots.
What's that about? You know what I mean? Like, you're fixing a whole bunch of roads.
Always working on the sidewalks.
Yeah, like,
Everywhere.
what's that about? Like,
Last 3 years.
yeah, like,
It's true.
everybody
you can't
sees
drive
it, though.
in New London and not see
Yeah,
him
but
breaking up
everybody
sidewalks.
sees it, but everybody votes the same. And also, too, like, I get a lot of flack because I'm running on a Republican ticket. But I say like this, I'm not a Trump supporter. But at the end of the day, like, if there was more brown people or more people that are like me on the Republican Party, he wouldn't even have been nominated. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, like, level the playing field. You can't just be on one side or the other. You know, like, I don't believe in that. And plus, I need the Republican Party. I hate paying taxes. Like, it's 100. Like, I hate that.
There it is. That's the answer.
That's true.
Well, I think New London definitely needs somebody of your skills and talents.
Thank you.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And somebody, you know, more importantly, somebody that's left. I've said this a lot, especially New London specifically, in any small town, New England town, whatever. Somebody that's grown up here,
Yeah.
left,
Yeah.
and has gotten the bigger picture, has seen how things run and let's call
That's
it,
how things change.
Yeah.
and they come back.
That's right.
But it's not even that. Like, I'm a product of New London, but I went to Waterford High School. Like, I got kicked out of New London High School. I was the worst of kids in New London. And I still came back because I was like, that didn't feel good. Like, I need to, like, help my community.
No, so
I
yeah, it is that.
really seriously don't need to be here. I could be in Miami. I could be in LA. I have a really cool house in LA.
But
know
you
what
don't
I'm
want
saying?
to.
No, I want to help my community. So, like, the backlash of it, and even people saying, "Oh, she doesn't really live here." I'm really here. Like, I'm here with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. I'm at the local pub. Like, it's all different to me now.
What's
but
your
but
favorite
it's-
bar again?
Oh, the Green Room.
The Green
Oh
Room.
yeah, the bartender there is like stellar.
The
like,
Green Room
yeah.
in London.
Yeah, she's stellar. John-Ye, yeah, she's stellar. But like,
Where's the green room at?
Just
It's,
open it.
on Bank
just-
Street.
It's near like the firehouse.
Yeah, just open
Yeah.
up.
I don't even know
Used
that.
to be
That
the
German place
used to
that
be a
closed.
German pub.
Oh, the
Yeah.
old devs over there.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
See,
I haven't even been there.
maybe
Shit.
this is just me. I understand, like, because I'm not from New London and stuff, but I could give two
We can
flying
tell.
fucks. Yeah.
Two
I
fun
could,
fucks
I
about
could
what?
care if I was voting and stuff. If she was here for 2 months, 9 months, 12 months out of the year, but she was doing a good
If
job.
she was making change,
if you're
what's the
making a
difference?
change and your voice is, your voice and you stand by what you say, who cares if if you're from here and you go back and forth,
Yo,
or
listen,
if you're just
I don't even
you never
know
left.
what I don't know. I can't I don't know what that's about.
But do you know what I'm saying? People get it wrong. It's like we said at the beginning. It's jealousy, and it's a lot of people wanting to come up with something instead of looking at the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I'm a pretty genuine girl.
oh, where am I from? By the
I
way,
saw some comments on social media, and they were like, "Oh, trust me, she has an agenda." I kind of don't really like. What can I get? Like, I don't.
What's your agenda?
I kind of, like I have
Maybe
some
she
paper.
just- yeah, maybe
like
she
I
just
don't
wants
know.
to help.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys have what it takes to really get me to where I could have an agenda. Like, I'm being 100. I like to push it there, and then like 10 years from now, when I can help out and do what I want to do, if you say, "Oh, well, she, maybe she's making it like a I don't know. I don't even think on those wavelengths.
Right.
I'm a child of God at the end of the day, and God has blessed me. Like, I just want to give back to what I've received. I'm very I'm a person that's very conscious. Like, I understand things, and I've always prayed on that. Like, I'm so blessed to understand what it takes to even get to the next level or even maintain certain things. Like, I don't work. I've made enough money where I don't know if I'm retired or retarded. Can you say that? Right, but I don't know if that's politically correct. But
Said
like,
it.
I don't like. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's my life. I've created that life.
Money
So-
equals freedom, right?
Yeah, so in order to like want to help other people in my position, like, I know that it's from my heart, but for people to like spin the narrative is weird to me, cuz
Well, let's spin it.
hang out with me on the weekend.
Let's
Like,
spin
I
it
can
back
show you
to
some
us, where you were telling me before you got 80,000 followers. We need to get the
Yeah,
word out about
so-
house rules. So,
Yeah.
will you help us out, and we'll say, vote for Alexis, City Council.
So I have on my personal page just shy of 6,000, but on my business page that I have, me and my partner, we have about 80.7 thousand followers, and all my friends have millions of followers.
That's
And
awesome.
So,
what is
yeah.
your personal page? You might have brought this up.
My
but-
personal page is @
No.
Alex_Major.
I'm sorry. Your
What's
that?
business page. What is that? What is your business?
It's _LS Collection.
Now let's connect.
And
Got
your
that,
business
Joe?
is again?
Yeah. Well, I help people with their credit
Okay.
because I think credit is power. I also, me and my partner, we do furs and leather goods because I come from a background of retail, and also we, I actually have owned dispensaries, so there is like some marijuana stuff because I do work with lobbyists in different states to pass marijuana stuff, especially I'm trying to get it pushed to the NFL because I believe the NFL uses marijuana to penalize their players instead of using it for them being hurt. They rather give them morphine, they rather give them oxy, they rather give them opiates than give them a drug that helps them maintain the pain in which they're fighting through. I don't know a player that I've worked with or that I know that doesn't have an injury right now. I have a player that I'm cool with that wants me to work with them that their thumb was hanging through all of Sunday. Like they ripped the thumb right off. All they did was tape it up and send him back in.
That's crazy, man.
I'm trying to think of who. But.
I think you might need to smoke a joint after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Seriously.
but instead, they rather say, "Here is like some Percocet. Here's some like how it."
It's crazy. Yeah, it's
like,
fun.
that's not right.
We'll look
corporately
back.
And
on
I'm not a
Yeah.
smoker.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not a. I don't.
I'm not either.
I don't
and I
smoke.
believe in it too because
Yeah,
it's
I don't.
just-
I'm not a marijuana person. I'm
It's just an
not.
old way of thinking of things.
It is
an old
corporate.
way of thinking.
Corporate, it's controlled now. Well, now marijuana's starting to be controlled, so hopefully it's only a
Once
matter
it's
of time.
controlled, they'll approve it. But I
Right.
feel like I don't know about you, but in my young day, if I smoked a joint with my friends, I could drive home. But if you have 4 shots of tequila,
You're in trouble.
you're in trouble. You're getting, you know what I mean? So like, if you can give someone a body high where they can still do their job, right? And do what they need to do for their family, I'm for that. I'm not for giving them big drugs and then they have
Addictive.
opiate
Yeah,
addictions.
Sure, man.
I was brokenhearted when I went into Starbucks in Old Saybrook and saw Vinny Baker there.
Yeah, that's right.
I was
Yeah.
broken. I was like looking at him like, damn, he used to have yachts come through New London, like, but he got caught into addiction because of what was pumped into his body or whatever. I don't know his story, but I can only imagine because I see what goes on.
Right.
It's not right, and I'm just for what's right. There's no gray areas with me. You know what I'm saying? It's white or black. I'm half white and half black. There's no gray area with me. It's right or it's wrong.
Yeah.
Good. Well, just remember, you're going to go through the politics right now. If you're going to go through all that, so not everybody thinks that the way that you think.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to. Well, you're going to have to just be resilient towards that. Not everybody's going to be thinking on your wavelength. People are going to come at you, so it's going to be up to you to like handle all of that bullshit. Brush it
Yeah.
to the side.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep coming.
Yeah, it comes. It
Right.
comes.
It's
yeah,
gonna
you're
keep coming. So stay on the path. Do your thing. It sounds like.
I don't think anyone's gonna push Alexis around. Though,
No.
to be honest with you.
But she might get tired of it. Is all I'm saying.
She might get. You
Don't
might
let
get
that-
tired.
don't let that be the reason.
Don't let
No,
that happen.
I'm a person. You can say whatever you want about me, but like, don't bring my family into it. Because once you bring my family into it, it's a whole different. You're gonna see a whole different girl.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because like,
That's what they want to do.
yeah, but that's a whole different. Like, people play real dirty, and honestly, I don't get. I choose not to get into that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not worth it to me. I'm a happy person daily. Like, I don't.
Don't let
I
them
choose
break
not
you
to get-
down. That's for sure.
No, they don't have what it takes to do that. But I'm just saying.
How is Jordan doing, by the way?
Good. I mean, he's had a couple concussions. We've been dealing with concussions his whole career. Like, he's a tough kid. It's just unfortunate that he has a peanut head. No, just kidding. It's unfortunate that, they don't come up with the technology for his helmet that he needs to be efficient in the game. But his wife is an engineer, doctor.
Is
So
that right?
she's trying to come up with that. So
That's awesome.
Hopefully they save the world with that one.
That'd be good.
Hopefully they save Sunday, Monday, and Thursday with that one.
Yeah,
that-
right.
that-
Exactly.
That
You know
is
what
the
I'm saying?
biggest thing
Yeah.
in the NFL.
September
Makes no
through January.
sense. They want to move it to 18 games. They also want to protect the players with concussions and stuff. But let's play on a Thursday after we just banged helmets
Yeah.
all for 3.5 hours
Give
on a
zero
Sunday.
fucks
They
about
don't
it.
care.
Well, it's
Oh, and
interesting
some of the
to me-
schedules
They
that
don't
go
care.
It's
Thursday to
interesting
Monday
to me
to
to
Sunday.
be on this show with all these Greeks, right?
Ah.
The gladiators.
Where's this gonna go?
These boys are gladiators. I've had some deep conversations with NFL players. They always like get deep with me, and it's so weird. And they're like, we're like the original gladiators. If we had to hunt for food, we'd probably be the first ones to get the food. I'm like looking at them like,
But you
Yeah,
don't
you're
gotta
not.
do that
You're
shit.
not
You don't
no
have to
Cyrus.
do that.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Stop and shop.
Right.
You know what those gladiators did?
Right. No, but everybody has to justify
Coliseum's done.
their actions, right?
Oh man,
Hey, well, thank you very much for coming on.
That was
Thank
a
you
great
for having
interview.
me.
We'll plug you one more time for Alexis.
Oh yeah, Alexis
Major
for
City
city
Council.
council. If you
New
don't
London.
vote for me, I'm gonna hold a grudge.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
Awesome interview, Alex.
thank you
Good
very
luck,
much for
Alexis.
coming on.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you for having me.